Welcome back, guys. We are going to be making some yummy, yummy fish pies today. Don't go anywhere. We're going to start right away. So, guys, I have my ingredients. I'm going to be using some peppers, spring onions, and some red onions, and some fish that was grilled. That is why I like having all these kind of ingredients because easily you can just whip everything out and start cooking right away. So I processed my onions, my peppers, and I have some cooking oil. I'm adding some onions now. I'm just going to like stir fry it for like 1 minute and let it caramelize a bit. I'm adding some ginger garlic paste because this is fish pie. I like to balance the taste of everything. So I've added my peppers and my spring onions that I processed, and I'm also going to allow this fry for 1 minute until when I am completely satisfied. I added some oil so that it won't be too dry. With the spring onions, it can be a bit dry. And I'm adding some seasoning, that is some garlic powder, some curry, and my bouillon cubes, and some salt. Just feel free to add whatsoever seasoning you absolutely like. And my flake fish, which I'd already separated, I removed the bones from the fish. Like I said, this was like grilled fish that I had sitting in my fridge, so it didn't take me a lot. But if not, if you have like raw fish, just cook it for a bit and remove the bones from the fish and just follow the same process. So guys, I'm just like mixing the peppers, the seasoning, and the fish together so that everything is well fused and well cooked in readiness for our filling. This is the filling for our fish pie. When I think I have done justice, I will switch off the cooker and I'll allow that cool. So guys, for the crust, I'm going to be using 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and this is something that I do. This is a good habit, if I must say. I love sifting my flour because it can never be too sharp. Sometimes it has lumps. Sometimes it might even have like some dirt in it. So I just like sifting it so that it does not affect what I'm going to be cooking. I'm adding some garlic powder because it is fish pie. I like the taste of my garlic in my fish pie. You can skip this if you don't want it, but it's very optional, but it's very compulsory for you to add your baking powder. Another ingredient I added was some sugar. You won't even feel it, but I just like the way it balances the taste for me. And I'm just mixing all my dry ingredients together. Then I'll go ahead to mix with some butter. I used about 150 grams of butter, and I was actually like trying to like make it like soft while trying to work it into my dough. I'll advise you to use soft butter anytime you're doing this. It will easily like be incorporated into your flour mixture and you don't have to like battle and continue going back and forth for a very long time. But anyway, after some time, I was able to work it out and it was well blended. So I mixed about 3/4 of cold water to mix my dough very well. Be very careful. If you feel it's not well mixed, you can add a little bit of more water, but don't go beyond adding 1 cup. I've noticed that with 2 cups of flour, 1 cup of water might even be too much. Your dough might be too soft and it might not like be firm enough. Just be patient. By the time you work on it very well, it will eventually come around. Another reason why I like using cold water is because it makes it very flaky. I like when my crust is flaky and it doesn't like appear so moist. Using cold water would make it flaky. It won't make it, it's like flaky, like as if it's like almost breaking out or that kind of thing. So I'm transferring my dough now to another flat surface. Let's continue working on this thing as much as possible. But the beauty of it is that it is not bread, so it doesn't have to be perfect. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll it out a bit before I get ready to start cutting it into smaller pieces. Cutting it into smaller pieces would make it easy for me to work on. Some people can actually like use this old dough and just roll everything out and put their filling in it. But for me, I like taking it one step at a time. I rather do it in small bits and control it that way than working with a lot. So what I usually do is that I cut out my dough into smaller bits, just the way you can see me doing. I'm going to use my rolling pin to flatten it all out on all edges so that it's well flattened. Don't worry, you're going to see what exactly I'm going to be doing. When I feel that I have done justice to it, I've rolled it very well, 360 on all sides, and everything is well rolled. For the sake of this fish pie, I'm just going to use a knife to cut out the excess of the dough that I don't need. Don't worry, I'll show you the process right away. So, like I said, I'll cut it out. I'll use a knife to cut it out. If you have an apparatus that can do this, you don't need to do this step. But for some reason, I didn't have the regular um thing I used in cutting out my fish pies, and I just sort of using the knife, which I usually do anyways, and I'm just cutting it into squares like you can see. So the excess, I transferred it to the other dough. I will use it subsequently. And the next thing is to fill in with our fish filling, and that is it, guys. Make sure you don't fill it all the way through so that it's easy for you to fold it over. So now I'm just sealing it with my hands, and I'm going to also use my fork to like pinch it to make it well sealed. So make sure it is well sealed with your hands first, then the fork will also seal it. So the fork like serves as like a closing and as well as a design. This is what you're going to do. When you do it this way, your filling will not come out at all. So you can see everything is well sealed on all the sides, and I have all my fish pies done already. So we're going to just poke it through so that the steam can come out. If you don't do this, it might not cook through evenly. So it's very important you poke it so that you have some of that coming out from the holes that you've poked. And the last thing we're going to be doing is to have our egg wash. This I do not skip. You might decide to skip it, but for me it's very, very important. You can decide to use your whole egg, the yolk and the egg whites. You can even decide to use just the egg whites alone. So just make sure that you coat it evenly, and the next thing is just to bake it at 180 degrees for at least 25 to 30 minutes, depending on how brown you want your pies to look. So guys, I set it into the oven, and this was the result after about 30 minutes. Don't take it beyond 30 minutes because it might now become too dry. So let's open it up. It was actually very hot. Yeah, that's why I was like hesitating. So let's open it and let's see how well it did. And it's well cooked all through. It's cooked inside and it's cooked outside as well. So guys, this is one way you can make fish pies from the comfort of your home. Let me know if you found this recipe helpful. Please subscribe and kindly come back to this channel for more recipes. I would love to see you come back again and again. How well do you like fish pies? Do you prefer meat pies to fish pies? I love everything, and you'll find everything on this page. I'll see you in my subsequent videos. Stay healthy, stay beautiful. Bye.